I want to start off our first secret with a quote. Doubt is traitor to us, for it robs us of the good we oft might win by attempting. Shakespeare said that 400 years ago. Do you have any doubts right now? Doubt is one of many possible limiting beliefs that make up our mindset. How many limiting beliefs do we have in our mindset? Boy, it can be a big number, can't it? So one of the first secrets to the job search is to master our mindset. I'm going to talk about some ways to do that. Mindset is something we can get control over, but too many people have not really tried to control. Instead, they let elements control us. If we act on those limiting beliefs and mindsets, it'll dramatically reduce our effectiveness. We need to manage this mindset, so that we can do some great things. Consider this. Our thoughts become our words become our actions become our behaviors become our character, and our character becomes our destiny. Therefore, we have to be really careful about our thoughts. All right? These thoughts are what make up our mindset, which lead all the way through to our destiny. Really important. So let's look at some examples of some mindsets that we might have to deal with in our job search. You might be in a situation where you're believing you're too old. Maybe you believe you're too young. Maybe you believe you don't have enough experience out there. Maybe you believe no one wants to talk to you. These aren't actual things that are real, but they're things that you might believe that are real. You might believe most jobs are posted online. That's not a fact, but you might believe that, and if that's the case, it'll change how you perform out there. Believing you have to go back to school might be another one. So, do any of these sound familiar? Have you brought any of these negative mindsets up? Any of these beliefs can really paralyze us in the job search. So let's take a deeper look at a couple of them. For instance, age. If we believe we're too old or too young to get a particular job, then we can easily be proven, correctly in that. We can make a bad assumption and then act on that bad assumption. I've seen 40-year-olds who are worried about being too old for a particular job. Everyone's getting older, everyone's living longer, and everybody's got to start at some young age, before they learn all the things they can before they become, say, a CEO. You don't just start out knowing all this stuff. You have to start, and you're going to have to finish. Now, does age discrimination exist in certain companies? Absolutely, it does. It does. But do you want to work for a company that discriminates against age or something else? No, you don't. So years ago, I think back to Dr. Bob. Dr. Bob was the greatest guy. I managed a retail store, and Dr. Bob was in his mid-70s, very rich guy, very successful doctor. And very easily, I could have said, this guy's too old to stand up all day. This guy's going to want too much money. This guy has no experience in retail, because he's just from a different world. And that would have been my loss. Dr. Bob could have also had limiting beliefs that said, then why would they hire me? I just don't fit the mold for him. As it turns out, he was just one of the easiest employees to manage, just so enthusiastic and just a fabulous guy. So be careful about, these limiting beliefs that you have for yourself. We need to make different choices on that. What about another one that's common is, I can't change jobs or change industries. That's not something I can do right now. Well, do you have a mindset that says you can't change industries? You need to be careful about that. Right now, changing jobs and industries is the norm. This is something that happens all the time as industries are disappearing. Think about this. When we had when I was a kid, we had record albums. That's what was out there, and that's how you listen to music. And it was a big industry. Well, then that died and everything went to these little CDs instead. Much different world, and they ended up selling way more CDs than they ever did in albums. So that was kind of interesting, and the cost actually came down on them. Then we got into, I was involved with a guy who was looking for a new job who was part of the MP3s. It was the name of the company was MP3, and this was the company that allowed us to store massive amounts of information in a very small place, which allowed us to have 1,000 songs on a tiny little box. That was pretty cool. Nowadays, look what we got now. My phone has every song you could ever imagine available on it which is just fantastic. So industries change. They move all the time, and we have to change with them. So another quote that I love by Henry Ford is, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Interesting. Whether you think you can find a job or you think you can't find a job, you're right. Okay, so let's decide to that's in our best interest to go after these jobs and decide that there are jobs out there for us.